A lot of people have made comparisons between this movie and Gremlins. I even thought of Rare Exports when I saw the first trailer, but after seeing it, I would say that Krampus is a really high production value version of Demonic Toys, only without the baby doll making smartass comments, which would have significantly improved it. Could you imagine how epic it would have been if one of the toys in this movie asked someone if they could shit their pants?
O Tannenbaum, o Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blatte. O Tannenbaum, o Tannenbaum.
Tonight's review is on Krampus, which follows a lovely family that loves to bicker over stupid shit and treat each other like garbage. And on one fateful Christmas Eve, all of this negative energy summons the spirit of Krampus and his minions. When this movie came out last year, it got a lot of negative reviews from some of the reviewers that I watch, namely for the fact that all of the characters in this movie are so unlikable. And I can kind of understand that, but to me personally, it didn't sound like that big of a negative. I mean, if you're trying to make a serious movie where you're supposed to feel genuine sympathy for the characters, then it can be a pretty heavy flaw, but if you're making like a mean-spirited horror comedy, I think it can work. I mean, one of my favorite B movies of all time is this little film called Terror Vision the in which the writer intended for all of the characters to be very unlikable and irredeemable so that the audience wouldn't get too attached to them. And in the case of Krampus, I think it's a pretty good choice to make the characters so obnoxious. They do have some genuinely funny moments, although I will have to say at the beginning it was a little rocky. It took the movie a while to really start making me laugh, and I feel like the comedy started hitting better once the scary moments started happening. I don't know, there's just something about that combination of tension and humor that really gets me. And I love some of the extremes of the characters, like there's this one member of the family. She's that type of family member that I'm sure we all know. The one relative that nobody really wants to have around, and that nobody necessarily likes, but at the same time, they care enough about her to have her around for the holidays. And I love this uncle played by David Ketchner. I thought he was really funny in the movie, just a huge smartass. And he's one of those stereotypical dads who really wants to have a son so badly that he raises his two daughters to be his sons pretty much, to the point where he gave them both boys' names, dressed them up as boys, and gave them short haircuts. I found that to be pretty humorous. However, I'm going to get to the best part of this movie right now, and that would be the creatures. First of all, I love how they're kind of set up at the beginning where they're not showing a whole lot, and it is legitimately suspenseful and creepy when Krampus starts to terrorize this family. And, once they do start showing their faces one by one, it is pretty awesome. There are these really fake looking CGI gingerbread men, but they do have some really entertaining and funny scenes in the movie. But most of the creature effects are done practically with puppets and costumes and everything, and it really makes a difference. I watched the behind the scenes, and there was one actress who was talking about this or not jack-o'-lantern, Jack-in-the-Box monster. She said that really helped to sell the terror when she had this great big ugly thing right in front of her. Uh, and I mean, the effects in this movie were done by Weta Workshop, the same people who worked on Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies, as well as a smaller movie, Black Sheep. So you know that the effects are in good hands. In the end, there's honestly not much else for me to say about this movie. I'm kind of glad that it's shorter than my Home Alone 2 review. Honestly, I didn't think that I would have been rambling for 9 whole minutes about a mediocre sequel, but yeah, if you love monster movies and you've got a mean spirited sense of humor, then Krampus is definitely recommended. And by mean spirited, I do mean spirited. If you think that someone in this movie is safe just because of their age, you might be a little surprised. Anyhow, that's all I've got to say about this movie. I hope y'all have a good one.